Hey, what's up? It's Amelia, and welcome back to Dark Psychology, the place where we decode what people secretly desire, but never dare to admit out loud. Now let me ask you something real for a second. Have you ever just sat there late at night and wondered, what are the dirty little things girls actually wish guys did? You think you know, but trust me, you have no idea. Because what women say and what they crave are often two completely different things. And before I go any further, let me warn you, this one's going to get real, raw, and maybe a little too honest. In fact, the reason this video feels so personal is because I didn't want my post-P production team to see how turned on I might get explaining this stuff. So, if you want to understand what really turns women on, not just physically, but psychologically, then stick around till the end, because I'll also share how you can build that kind of connection where she not only wants you, she chases you. Oh, and before we start, if you never want to miss another deep dive into human attraction, desire, and psychology, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, and let's begin 7 dirty things girls secretly wish guys did. So, here's the deal. In my last video, we talked about what women wish men knew about intimacy, connection, and the kind of energy that makes us melt. But this one's about the dark, unspoken desires, the things we fantasize about but rarely ever admit. And if by the end of this video, you realize you're not yet confident enough to go there, or maybe you're still struggling to even get women into that space of attraction or intimacy, don't worry. I've got something powerful for you at the end. So watch carefully, because every second matters here. Alright, let's dive in. There are 7 of these, and trust me, each one is like unlocking a different part of a woman's primal mind. So, let's start with the first one. 1. Ass play, the most ignored pleasure zone. Now, I know a lot of guys freeze up when they hear that, but listen carefully. The butt is one of the most nerve-dense areas of the body, especially for women. Even the muscles in the glutes, the gluteus maximus, are loaded with nerve endings that respond to the slightest touch. So, no, I'm not telling you toe cross boundaries or do anything she's uncomfortable with. Never. I'm saying stimulate the area, caress it, explore it respectfully. Let me tell you something from a psychological perspective. When a woman's arousal rises, her brain wants full sensory ignition. Every nerve ending, every touch, every contrast between soft and firm becomes part of the experience. So, when you rub her back, trace her lower spine and slide your fingers over her hips, that firm grab or subtle circular movement near her butt can send shivers down her spine. Why? Because it communicates confidence, control, masculine grounding. And here's the truth. No one tells you. It's not just about physical pleasure. It's about trust. When she lets you explore that area, it means her body trusts you enough to surrender control. And really no, I'm not telling you to go in there, especially if she hasn't explicitly said, yes, I am telling you to explore around it. Touch, pressure, temperature, those sensations unlock layers of primal pleasure she didn't even know she was craving. It's wild how many women admit this secretly. We love that sensation, especially when we're fully turned on. It's raw, it's vulnerable, it's forbidden, and that's why it's powerful. And yes, believe it or not, a lot of women are becoming more open about this now. That's why you see all those memes about eating ass floating around. Because women are finally realizing how much they actually enjoy being stimulated in that area. So, if you want her to crave you differently, don't ignore that zone. It's not just physical, it's psychological. The feeling of being touched there awakens her sense of surrender and trust, the 2 most powerful emotional triggers of female arousal. Now, before you get too excited, let me say this. There's a fine line between confident exploration and reckless intrusion. Always keep communication open, because when a woman feels both safe and desired, that's when her entire body becomes a canvas for your touch. Alright, that was just the first one, and if that one got your attention, wait till you hear what comes next. Because the second one, it's something that'll blow your mind, and it's probably something you've never done in your life, but every woman secretly wishes you would. Alright, moving on to the second thing. Women secretly wish you do. And this one might surprise you. But trust me, every girl who's truly into you loves it. So, here it is. We'd love it if you just whipped it out during those super romantic moments. Yeah, I said it. And before you freak out, let me explain. See, in the last video, I talked about being more romantic in ways that connect to her love language, whether that's touch, words, or quality time. So imagine this. You're out together. The energy is soft. The chemistry is undeniable. You've made her feel special, safe, desired. Like she's the only woman in the room. And the scene is perfect. That's when it happens. That shift from emotional connection to raw attraction. That's the moment she wants to see that you want her back. Because here's the psychological truth. No woman's fantasy ever ends with, "And I hope he never kisses me or my brains out." That's not how attraction works. We crave intimacy with polarity. When we feel adored, valued, and emotionally understood, our minds open. And when our minds open, our bodies follow. That's why makeup sex is always the most intense. Because in those moments when emotions are high, when connection and release collide, it's not just lust, it's reconciliation, it's power, it's energy transforming from conflict into closeness. And that transformation, that moment where you both go from tension to surrender, is when a woman wants you to take her. So, when she's sitting there, eyes locked, lips parted, heart racing, and you confidently show that you're turned on, that you're not afraid of your desire for her, she feels it deeply. You're communicating something primal. I want you. I choose you. I'm claiming this connection. That's not perverted. That's masculine energy in its purest, most honest form. Now don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean you should do it in public or out of context. We're not talking about being creepy or inappropriate. This is about those right moments when the chemistry is undeniable. The energy is aligned, and she feels that spark inside, her chest that says, "He wants me right now." That's the moment she'll never forget. 3. Take control. The secret feminine craving. And now we come to the third one. And this one, it's hardwired into female psychology. We want you to dominate us, to take control. I don't care how independent, successful, or self-made a woman is. When it comes to intimacy, almost every woman wants to feel your masculine power. It's not about aggression, it's about leadership. Because in today's world, women are constantly leading at work, in life, in decision M, and we carry that weight. But when we're with a man who can take that weight off, who can lead with strength, confidence, and direction, our entire body relaxes. It's that primal dynamic. Masculine direction meets feminine surrender. And it's not just physical, it's psychological safety. It's knowing that in this moment, she doesn't have to think, she just has to feel. So, yes, even the most high-powered boss-type women, the ones making 6, 7 figures, they want a man who can completely own the moment in the bedroom. I've talked to my girlfriends who are CEOs, lawyers, entrepreneurs, and you'd be shocked at what they tell me. They want to be pinned down. They want to be overpowered. They want to feel your control, your energy, your command. Now that doesn't mean being disrespectful. It doesn't mean ordering her around yelling or forcing dominance. That's not power. That's insecurity disguised as control. Real dominance is calm, confident, unshakable. It's when you guide her body with your hands, not with your ego. When you tell her what you like, but also listen to what she responds to. When you read her breath, her body language, her pulse, and you lead her exactly where she secretly wants to go. That's masculine power. That's what turns her on more than anything else. So remember this, even if she's the type who likes to take control sometimes, you can still lead. You can still encourage her energy. Let her play her role, but never lose your grounded presence. Because whether she's soft and shy or wild and dominant, what she truly craves is a man who knows who he is. And that right there, that's what keeps her coming back. See, most men get this wrong. They think dominance is about being rough or loud or forceful. But in reality, it's about energy. When your energy says, "I've got this," you're safe here. You can let go. That's when a woman's guard drops. That's when attraction becomes addiction. And we're only 3 in the next one. It's something that every woman wants to hear, but most men completely mess up because they think it's about what you say. But in truth, it's about what you make her feel when you say it. Alright, number 4. This one is simple, but it separates the forgettable men from the ones she'll never stop thinking about. And that's dirty talk. Now, I've talked about this before, but let's go deeper. Because so many guys think dirty talk means saying the filthiest words they can think of, like something out of a cheap adult film. No, that's not it. Effective dirty talk isn't about being vulgar. It's about being specific. It's about knowing her triggers. See, every woman has ascertained emotional code, a set of words or tones that activate her desire. For own woman, it might be when you whisper how good she feels. For another, it's when you tell her exactly what you're going to do, slowly, confidently, like you've already imagined it 1,000 times. It's not about the words. It's about the intent behind them. Let me tell you something real. Me and my cousin were actually talking about this once, and I told her, you know what? It doesn't matter if he says it every single time. If it's that one thing I love to hear, I want to hear it again and again. And she looked at me and said, that's funny because I'm the same way, but the opposite. I want to hear my version every time. See what that means? Every woman has that one phrase, that one sentence, that switches her brain from curious to craving. That's why the one man who completely mastered dirty talk with me wasn't the loudest or the wildest. He was the most attentive. He noticed every reaction, every breath, every sound, every shiver, and learned what drove me insane. Then he repeated that one phrase every single time. And it never got old, because every time he said it, my min remembered how he made me feel. And that's what dirty talk really is. It's not about saying something dirty. It's about saying something meaningful, sexual, and emotional at the same time. It's about creating a loop in her brain that says, every time he says this, I lose control. So don't copy what you hear in movies or adult scenes. That kind of talk feels empty, disconnected, mechanical. Instead, pay attention. Watch how her breathing changes when you whisper something. Listen to the sound she makes when you say it the second time. That's her body telling you, yes, that's it. Learn her language. And once you do, you can be the best she's ever had. Not because you're saying dirty things, but because you're saying the right things. Every woman wants to feel desired in a way that feels personal, not generic. And that's what real dirty talk is. It's psychological seduction. 5. The pain-pleasure principle. Why we secretly want you to hurt us a little. Now, let's move to number 5. And this one is probably the most misunderstood and the most powerful. We want you to hurt us a little bit. Before you panic or misunderstand, let me explain. This isn't about violence or aggression or losing control. This is about psychological chemistry, the ancient wiring between pain and pleasure. See, when a woman is in a heightened state of arousal, her body literally can't tell the difference between pain and pleasure. In those moments, her brain interprets intensity as ecstasy. That's why so many women say things like, oh my God, it hurts. Don't stop. Or, that feels so good it's almost painful. Because biologically, Our bodies merge those sensations into an emotional high. It's not just about the body. It's about surrender, about trust, about feeling completely consumed. I had a girlfriend once who liked it rough, like really rough to the point where she'd walk away from a night together with marks, scratches, bruises, and she loved it. Now, does that mean every woman wants that? Absolutely not. This is about understanding what she wants. Maybe for her, hurt me means biting her shoulder. Maybe it means gripping her hair or holding her wrists. Maybe it's just the pressure of your hand on her throat, not to choke, but to remind her that she's completely yours in that moment. It's about energy, not violence. It's about depth, about creating contrast, the mix of gentle affection and raw intensity. Because when a woman feels that kind of controlled power, her mind flips into submission and her body follows. Here's the psychology behind it. When tension builds, pleasure expands. When a woman's body feels a bit of resistance, a little push, a little struggle, her adrenaline spikes. And that adrenaline, combined with oxytocin and dopamine, creates a cocktail of intense euphoria. That's why she moans louder when you pull her hair, why she grips you tighter when you push her against the wall. It's not about pain, it's about surrender. So yes, we want it, but we want it in the way that feels right for us. It's your job to read her, communicate, and lead. Because when you do, that's when she lets go completely. Body, mind, and soul. All right, take a breath, because the next one flips everything. Up until now, it's been about what you do to her. But what's coming next is about what she'll do for you when you finally learn how to make her earn it. All right, number 6. And this one, it's where almost every man fails. Not because they don't understand it, but because they're too afraid to apply it. So listen closely. 6. Make her work for it. Just like you don't want a woman who's too easy, we also don't want a man who's easy. Read that again. See, deep down women are wired to value what they earn. When something or someone is too available, our brain doesn't register it as high value. It becomes ordinary. But when we have to work for it, when we have to prove ourselves for your attention, your energy, your affection, that's when the chase begins. It's psychology. The brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that drives addiction. Not from getting something, but from anticipating it. So when you make her wait, when you tease her, when you make her wonder if she's done enough to earn your time, your touch, your body, you're igniting her psychological addiction to you. Now, let's make this real. When she's kissing you, touching you, wanting you, don't give in immediately. Pull back, smile, whisper something like, "Not yet. You're not ready for it." Then watch her reaction. Her mind will explode with questions. Why not? What do I have to do? Is he really going to make me beg for it? That's the power of mystery and restraint. You're teaching her that your energy, your body, and your attention aren't free. They must be earned. It's not arrogance. It's value. Because when you hold back, when you become selective, she realizes something powerful. You're not like the rest. You're a man of control, and women find control irresistible. So, yes, make her work for it. Make her prove herself worthy of your energy. Because when you do, she'll invest more emotionally, sexually and psychologically than she ever has before. And that's when she's yours. Not out of obligation, but obsession. 7. The final one. Come on to us. Now we reach number 7. And this one is raw, primal, and honest. You ready? Will you just come on to us? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It turns us on to turn you on. We love seeing the effect we have on you. Your voice dropping, your pupils dilating, the tension building in your body when you want us. But here's the truth most men don't get. Before we want to see that side of you, we need to feel a connection. We need to know that your desire comes from respect, not desperation, from confidence, not pressure. So, imagine this. You're in the car having a deep emotional conversation. You're both laughing, your hands brushing. The air is thick with chemistry. She's looking at you with that spark. And in that moment, you lean closer. And without saying a word, she feels your intent. That's what we crave, not random lust. Focused desire. Now don't get this twisted. This doesn't mean doing something inappropriate or crossing boundaries. That's creepy. That's weak. What I'm talking about is masculine presence. The kind that says, I want you. I'm not ashamed of it. And I'll show you when the time is right. That confidence is magnetic. Because we women are emotional beings. But we're also visual, physical, and deeply intuitive. We can feel when a man's energy shifts from passive to assertive. And when that happens, when we feel safe, connected, and desired, that's when we want you to take that next step. So yes, when the vibe is right, when she's into you, when there's trust and laughter and comfort, whip it out. Show her she turns you on. Because we love knowing the power we have over you. It makes us feel feminine, alive, wanted. But remember, connection first, because desire without connection feels creepy. Connection with desire feels divine. And don't ever be ashamed of wanting a woman. There's nothing weak about that. What makes it powerful is when your desire is paired with respect. That's the balance every high-value man must master. The mindset shift. Now, if you've listened this far and you're thinking, Amelia, I get it, but I don't know if I have the confidence to do all this. It got you. Because everything we just talked about, dominance, control, attraction, desire, it all starts in your mind. If you're still in that place where you think, I don't want to be too forward, or I'm scared she might reject me, then you're living from a mindset of scarcity, not power. That's why I've got a free masterclass linked below. It'll help you completely shift the way you think about attraction. You'll learn how to move from being the man who hopes she wants him to the man she can't stop thinking about. Because when you accept that women want this, when you understand that these dynamics are not manipulative but magnetic, you'll start attracting women effortlessly. That's when she starts putting you on the pedestal. That's when you stop chasing and start choosing. So go out there, get as dirty as wild, as emotionally real as you both want to get. Because when you combine passion, respect, and psychology, that's when connection becomes unforgettable. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found this video eye-opening, hit that subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one, where we'll go even deeper into the mind of attraction, power and emotional control, music,